It is 3 o'clock. This is Queen City News Plus Live, coming to you live from the Blue Room here at Queen City News on what has been a rather interesting Wednesday here. We should mention, though, right off the top, and this has kind of been the breaking news over about the past few hours or so, if you are a Verizon customer, chances are you don't have cell service right now.
You are. I'm not.
No, I don't have cell service on my phone. I had to tap into the station Wi-Fi actually to use.
And it's not
use
just
my phone.
Verizon.
Yeah, about
AT&T.
460,000 Verizon customers. AT&T, T-Mobile, they're experiencing these disruptions right now. The engineers are working on it right now, Derek, from what I understand, and hopefully get that shored up.
Yes. I'm Derek Dellinger alongside anchor Brian Blakely. We got meteorologist Andrew Bryman here, as well as producer-director Austin McCollum. As we continue on with some of the other headlines of the day, we're still trying to figure out exactly what's causing that outage for Verizon, as well as some of those other carriers. There's a lot of other news to tell you about, too, and some of it actually starts in Greenland.
Yeah, it sure does, and that is the big meeting today between the Greenlandic and Danish foreign ministers with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and it comes as President Trump has insisted on controlling the island territory that is owned belongs to our NATO ally of Denmark. And so we just watched a press conference about the two. They had what they said was a frank but constructive talks. But they still say that Trump sees it one way, which is totally unacceptable to Denmark and Greenland. But they have decided to form a group over the next few months to see about a way moving forward if this could happen.
Yes, President Trump is basically saying that he wants Greenland as part of its main reason was for national security. However, people in Greenland, there are about 50,000 of them there, they, by and large, do not want to be part of the United States. They want to remain part of Denmark. Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory.
Minister reiterated that today.
Greenland's minister, as well as representatives from Denmark, and they're basically, President Trump, at least at this point, he's basically saying, hey, if we don't get it, if the United States doesn't get it, it's at potential threat for Russia and China, even though experts and Greenlanders themselves basically say there's no presence of either that are in the country, that are in that on the island that they really have to worry about. And the U.S. does actually have a base there right now that has
and that's
several dozen people.
Interesting thing there, too. The U.S. already has the wide access to the military bases if they want to set up this since World War II, but they have not asked to do so. But Denmark has stepped up their security right now. Sweden has sent over some warships at Denmark's request, but you're saying that you're right there. National security. They came out and said today that that the United States they were worried about China and Russia operating in these waters. There's been no evidence of that, according to Greenland and to Denmark right now. But going forward, there is some sort of dialogue right now. But we'll see how President Trump feels about all these conversations so far moving forward.
Yeah, Denmark has made a point of saying that if there's any military intervention in Greenland, that it would essentially make NATO null and void. So that's one of those things that's also.
And that's one of the things to look forward. I mean, look at going forward. Is the United States involvement in NATO overall?
Yes. Other big story today is out in Iran, where things are getting tense over the situation there. So much so that the U.S. is reportedly, at least according to a report from the Associated Press, ordering some evacuations from a base in nearby Qatar of some personnel there, mainly because of the situation. It is getting tense there, and it's doing so, at least so far as those evacuations are concerned. It is a precautionary measure, at least to this point.
Yeah, and the rhetoric has been ramped up. The demonstrations have certainly ramped up that began in late December in Iran. So they're worried about U.S. interest and U.S. military personnel, U.S. Overall diplomatic envoys that are in that region so far. And so Iran, they've been struggling with these protests since late December. Their currency has collapsed.
Yes.
There have been violent protests. The Iranian
directed
officials
towards the government.
Directed toward the government. Iranian officials say that this is really stoked by the United States that have been doing that. In Israel, and they've been chanting death to Israel, death to the United States. But it is spreading outside of Tehran as far as those protests. They've been in every one of the regions as far as the entire country itself. And they've said 18,000 arrested and more than 2,000 dead, and they believe much more than that.
Yes, and we should mention, too, that there has been that communications blackout over the past several days. However, Elon Musk has ordered a software upgrade, a firmware upgrade to some of the Starlink satellites that are over that part of the world, and to allow people to have internet access to get the word out about what exactly is happening in Iran at this point. That's
and there
still
is
something.
a Persian contingency here in Charlotte, and they've been very active about talking about trying to get this more in the media and the media's attention. and not only just to hear, but also across the country about what is happening over there. But there's been such a blackout.
Yes, and you were hearing directly from the government and what the government has to say about what's going on in Iran, and from Iran's government, and what Iran's government is saying is different from what we are hearing from everything else, from some of the independent reporting and from some of the images that we've seen.
Yeah.
So this is the important to get the story out. The more video, the more stories that are out there about what's going on, the more we can find out exactly.
Meanwhile,
about what's going
back
on.
here in the neck of the woods in the United States, in Minnesota, a federal judge has declined to bring an immediate end to that ICE surge during a court hearing today. However, he did say that he wants to fast track arguments in this lawsuit. He is expecting the government, the federal authorities, to submit their response by Monday, January 19th.
Yes, in fact, he is demanding a response from the feds on this ahead of any decision that's going to be made. And it's not necessarily that the judge is not calling for not allowing a stop to it. It's just like, hey, they can continue the operation, but we need the answers. That's basically what's going on right now. In the state of Minnesota, they're basically saying that at least at this point, the direct words here was that the ICE presence is causing serious harm. They cited the shooting that happened with Renee Good, which has made all these headlines, but also the continued action that has resulted in the arrest of some around 2,000 people across the state of Minnesota in these concentrated ICE actions that have been happening. And we've been hearing stories, various stories about some of what has been happening out there and some of the alleged actions of some of these ICE officers, which those in Minnesota are saying are rather brash.
Yeah, the video, there are a lot of people taking video, and a lot of people out there as far as with the ICE agents, whenever they're around somebody, there's groups that are out there whistling and alerting people of where they are.
With
and
whistles,
taking
yes.
video. In the lawsuit, I mean, as far as they're planned on more ICE agents coming, 3,000 of them now that are expected to go into Minneapolis. 6 federal prosecutors have resigned during this. They've resigned yesterday and on Monday, some of them because they did not agree with the Department of Justice and not wanting to investigate this further about what happened with the shooting of Renee Good by the ICE agent last week.
Yes, we'll be keeping an eye on exactly what's happening out there as that situation also develops. Here locally, there is a story that is actually follow-up to the plane crash involving Greg Biffle and his family that we told you about last month. This was a tragic story in itself. However, we did get our hands on an incident report that is separate from that crash, but does involve a burglarizing of Greg Biffle's home. This burglary apparently happened last week.
Yeah, and it happened at his home in Mooresville. Well, someone broke into the house and they stole $30,000 in cash and a backpack. Not much more details were about this, but I'm certainly we're trying to work on to find out a little bit more. No arrests have been made regarding this, but certainly this comes after the December 18th crash outside the Statesville airport that Greg Biffle and his family were killed along with 3 others. A very, very tragic situation. And so what the nature of why someone would break in, it seems like, they had some sort of knowledge of where to go and no other items were listed in that report. It was just the $30,000 cash and the backpack.
Yes. The report was filed by Biffle's niece and along with one other person as well. We're still working to get some more details on what exactly was going on in this case. But again, it's one of those things where you are sad to hear about something like that.
Meanwhile, there'll be memorial services honoring Greg Biffle on Friday in also Charlotte and also in Mooresville as well.
Yes. Other big story, measles. We've been kind of telling you about this for the past couple of days or so about the cases that have been going on in South Carolina. They have 124 new cases, in fact, and this comes as we were telling you yesterday, in fact. The Mecklenburg County wants people, especially considering how close we are to South Carolina right now, how close the Charlotte area is to South Carolina, and how much South Carolina is a part of our viewing area, to get the MMR vaccine, at least at this point.
Yeah, and the Mecklenburg County health officials are saying it's just a matter of time, a matter of when that it's going to happen here. So they're urging people to get vaccinated. They reiterate that it is the best way to stop the spread of measles. If you haven't already done so, they have set up mobile clinics. They've set up 4 vaccination sites around the area. Mecklenburg County currently, as far as the students go, 91% of the students are vaccinated in Mecklenburg County. 95 is the old target that you wanted. Most of the counties around Charlotte area, Iredell, Cabarrus, Rowan, Lincoln, Gaston, and Union counties, those are all sitting in between the 91 and 95th percentile right now. But still, when you have a large population like you do here in the United States, there is a worry because many people do not have the vaccination anymore for measles.
Yes, and it is important to note, at least with this story, that the importance of getting that vaccination will help those who either can't get the vaccination or have weakened immune systems, and those who can't or have those weakened immune systems, they face the possibility of facing more complications because measles can be deadly for
highly contagious.
And we've seen that in some of these outbreaks that have happened across the country. We do want to get a check on your weather on this Wednesday afternoon, and as we take a look out from our Independence Boulevard camera, you see quite a few clouds out there, also 51 degrees as you're making your way out this afternoon. And Andrew here with a look at the forecast, and it's
cold.
It's
right.
I've been liking this colder weather lately because it's actually starting to feel more like January.
It definitely feels more like January. The cold air is not going anywhere either, gentlemen. Here as we go through the next couple of days, as we're going to be seeing. Cold air rushing in, a couple of snow showers on maybe a couple of flurries early tomorrow morning around the Piedmont. But the question here, I really got to watch Sunday, and I'll talk about the why here coming up in a few minutes, my full forecast. But right now, up in the mountains, one place we're going to be watching a little bit of snow, really tonight and through early tomorrow morning across the higher elevations. Beach Mountain, we'll see some of the snow here as we get elsewhere here. Cataloochee, they'll be seeing a little bit of snow, maybe a couple of inches of some fresh pow. Is that what the kids say, right, guys?
No.
I think
That's
what they say.
They don't
I'm
say
with
that.
you, Andrew.
That's what I've heard.
That's
Anyway,
from a not a skier.
I'm a skier. Come on, I'm a skier. I love saying pow.
And you're from the Northeast.
Yes, radar is
You should
quiet
know better.
right now.
You should know snow.
I'm the bad boy of skiing, gentlemen. Radar right now, there's the front moving through off to our west, and as soon as that front hits the mountains, that's when we'll see the temperatures rapidly drop and the much colder temperatures start to roll in here across the higher elevations, eventually working its way to Charlotte. Right now, we've actually been able to warm up here into the low to mid-50s across the Carolinas, even mid to upper 40s across the mountains, but we'll see a very, very steep drop in the temperatures beginning later on this evening. But even with that in mind, we're still much, much cooler here across the Carolinas. Many places still about 5 to 10 degrees cooler compared to this time yesterday. As we go through the next 12 hours, temperatures will start to fall off a cliff once we get to midnight and beyond, and I do anticipate a freeze here in Charlotte as we get to your Thursday morning. Now, coming up in a few minutes, my full forecast talking more about the potential of much colder temperatures on the way, and yes, the potential, just maybe, of some snow here outside of the mountains.
In the Charlotte area, below I-85.
I'm saying there's
right?
a chance. There's still a lot unknown here. Still might not happen, but there is potential. At least
Of the pow.
Yeah.
Pow.
Pow.
It's a real term. Look it up.
Yeah.
Webster's Dictionary.
So, Derek and gang, we got coming up a great story. It's a feel-good story. It's a time when we've seen a lot of unrest all over the world, especially here in the United States as well. And it's the Buddhist monks that have been walking their trek across the country, and they're in the Carolinas area. We're going to have more on their trek coming up here on Queen City News Plus.
Where
Live.
exactly they're going to be coming up.
And good Wednesday afternoon to you. Welcome back here to Queen City News Plus Live as you're taking a live look outside at the skyline from our tower camera. As you can see some clouds that are moving in. Also,
Already looks like evening.
Yeah, look at precursor to what is coming our way. Could there possibly be some flurries? We're going to talk to meteorologist Andrew Brightman here in a little bit. Makes for a good walk tonight if it's going to be cold. We'll talk about those monks that are making their way first here to Charlotte. But first, Derek, Google announced that the company is reversing a longstanding practice about allowing minors supervised by their parents.
Yes, and this policy is a little complicated to talk about, but we're going to try to
That's why
simplify
we're
this
asking
for
you.
Yes. So they had a parental control policy that would allow, once a child turns 13, they could unilaterally opt out of having their parents basically overlooking their accounts. Once they turn 13, it's like they could just go ahead and just turn the thing off. Well, that policy has actually been reversed. And basically, Google will now require parental approval on those accounts if they want the parental locks basically taken away.
And the timing of this is a little
Yes.
questionable here.
Yeah.
They said, they had this policy planned for some time now, but it came after there was a online child safety advocate who had posted something that drew viral attention to the company's previous policy on a LinkedIn post. That went up in the publication, and that thing went viral, and so a lot of people have been talking about that. as to making that policy change.
Yes, it was kind of interesting that they were allowing children once they were turning 13 anyway as part of this old policy, but essentially it basically makes it to the point where you have to be 18 at least at this point to basically get the full adult access, or at least remove parents from having access to that account, or for that matter, you can get your own account. My thing about it is at least with some of these Google accounts, how can you tell? Because sometimes, yeah, you can. I mean, some of these users can lie very easily about their ages. It's just a matter of
we've
how
seen
much
with a lot of
access.
stories that
Yes.
we do that come into here all the time about
Age verification is still a thing, especially when it comes to certain services. And email or Google is one of those services where are you going to have double checking, and that's to verify the dates. You have an honesty policy there, but it's also on that same point though. What is the enforcement of that policy?
Yeah, and technology is, with kids is certainly a big issue, whether it comes to being at home or whether you're out in public or whether you're also at school. And there's a cell phone ban right now that's been a law in effect here since January 1 for North Carolina. And Governor Josh Stein was visiting Charlotte yesterday. He was at East Mac talking about the cell phone ban policy in school, because how it helps in the education process and also with just the social interactions that kids have.
Yeah, and Governor Stein, he was getting feedback on the policy, which has been in place since there was a local ban that was basically here within the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system. Was trying to get the feedback on the ban because they've had it in place for a few months now, and it's one of the things that they said that CMS did is not necessarily not allowing not allowing phones in school. Excuse me. It was a situation where they would basically put them at the front of the classroom in bags and things like that, just making sure
Not
that they
during
were out of the
instructional
sight
time.
and things.
Yeah.
Yes. But this also comes as students have access to tablets and various other things that they can get around some of the systems on with allowing for
And they're
messaging.
allowed during the usage of that during lunch and between classes. But teachers said that this has been very, very positive.
Yes.
The students are engaging more. And you can only think I'm a parent at home with a 14-year-old who he is always on his phone right now, and I have to tell him to stop put it down on his phone, and he says the same thing to me right back in return.
Yes, it is a prominent feature. Even if you don't have kids, it's a prominent feature on dinners with your significant others as well. So I mean, it is a thing that you have to. It is a reality, and sometimes you're actually even forwarding like little memes or little videos or something you see on Instagram to that significant other while they're on the other side of the table instead of actually showing.
And each school district has implemented, or school has implemented their own type of policy and how they want to implement this across the state.
Yes. The Mucks, we've been mentioning them the past couple of days. They were in Rock Hill yesterday, Fort Mill today, and as of probably just about a few minutes ago, or at least right around now, they have probably crossed the state line into North Carolina.
They are right there at the Miller's Farmers Market on going into Pineville from Fort Mill.
I'll
show the live
that
map.
up right now.
Yeah.
The live tracker. We have a live monk tracker
Here it
for
is,
you.
ready.
Yeah, the 2,300-mile walk started in Fort Worth, 120 days, and this
So they
is
have
where
actually
they are
crossed the
right
state
now.
line. Yeah, there we go.
So have they crossed yet?
They have crossed the state line. They
They have
there.
definitely crossed into
Yeah.
Mecklenburg County, into the Pineville area right now, and they're going to
Yes.
be making their way up to the Marion Deal Rec Center off of Tyrola Road tonight from 6 to 9, where they're going to spend the night, and then they're going to trek up into the Elizabeth and Plaza Midwood neighborhood tomorrow. So they'll be going up through Charlotte, in the middle of Charlotte tomorrow on Thursday. But certainly have drawn a lot of people here for their stories about peace and harmony and love. And it's, it come together at a time when there's not a lot of harmony around the world.
And honestly, it's really encouraging to see the crowds there because they
big crowds.
It is an altruistic mission, and it's meeting with a bunch of people who want to see it, experience it, and for lack of better words, at least at this point, with all the stuff going on in the world, kind of be in awe of it.
And I will say, because one of our photojournalists went and took this video today we had from Fort Mill, if you want to go see them, be prepared.
There's going to be a line.
There's a line. There's a lot of people parking. He said there's just people parking on the road wherever they can. So be prepared to maybe get there early.
We need to be live
ready
from 4 to 7 on this walk here. Hint, hint. Yeah, is what we're doing. Just to kind of watch and see all these people, and also the traffic issues that's going to cause for the afternoon commute. Hey, that's a tough thing, but you know what? Hey, we don't have monks. Exactly,
it's a minor
inconvenience. Because we don't have monks coming here through the United States, and especially in the Charlotte area, traveling this making this trek up to Washington, D.C. and with a message of peace.
Yes. Let's get a check on your weather. Full forecast as we take a look at uptown from our Arlington camera, and those clouds kind of still remaining around.
Trying to bring peace to your forecast.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
and it's been trying to rain. I noticed this a little bit
Not
this
so
morning,
successfully.
and while I was out getting lunch this afternoon, it was trying to rain, not necessarily succeeding in the rain.
Yeah.
And I see the clouds out there. What is the actual? Is it going to be wet tonight? That's the
No,
question.
the rain
Yeah.
chances are done here across the show. Whatever showers we were seeing, that was around
That was
the
it.
noon hour,
Yeah.
and then basically
there you
put done, finished. Still a little breezy though. Winds out the southwest about 15 to 20
It
miles.
makes it a
there.
lot colder because I tell you, I was going to a meeting earlier today in Uptown. It was significantly colder with that wind.
I hope-
And, yeah, and
I
didn't
hope
have
you
that
aren't trying
big
to
of a-
play golf tomorrow morning.
No,
Brian.
not at
Might
all.
not be a good idea.
Yeah, it's going to be
There you
cold out there behind that frontal boundary moving through. Still, temperatures right where they should be for this time of year, around the 52-degree mark here this afternoon. Up at Beach Mountain, temperatures in the 40s, but very quickly here, those temperatures are going to start to fall across the higher elevations as this cold air begins to move on in. Wind gusts, a little blustery. I got some of those wind gusts, 25 to 35 miles an hour here across the Carolinas. It's out in front of the frontal boundary. Here you can see that change in wind direction as we look farther off to the north and west, get across portions of Kentucky as those winds start to change out of the north and west, bring in the colder air. Radar, as we were discussing, completely quiet here across the Carolinas. Now as we zoom out, you saw some of those showers move through earlier, and then there is the Arctic front getting ready to move over the border into the Carolinas as we speak, bringing a whole lot of fresh, cold air behind it. 45 in Nashville, 48 in Knoxville, and then on the flip side here, as we get east of the mountains, a lot of temperatures kind of in the middle 50s currently across the mid-Atlantic states. Temperatures Thursday, a lot of fresh flowing in, land-based Arctic air, all the adjectives. It's going to be getting cold out there. Temperatures more than 10 degrees below average tomorrow. Going to be a struggle here just to get out of the 30s. Chilly with a capital C here across the region. This is all part of the polar jet stream taking a big dip straight into the Carolinas here. And again, this air is coming straight from northwest Canada. It's one of the reasons why it is going to be so chilly out there. Let's talk more, though, about what's on the way. Overnight tonight, you saw a couple of those snow flurries moving through. And then as we get into your Thursday here, Thursday afternoon, mostly clear skies, just very, very chilly. Already by 6 o'clock, we're back down into the upper 20s. As we go into your Friday here, we'll see a few more clouds after lows, probably around the 20-degree mark. Very, very chilly. And then heading into the afternoon, Futurecast really trying to jump on the idea here early Saturday morning, that next front trying to move through maybe a couple of showers, a couple of snowflakes mixed in. And then as we go throughout your Saturday here into your Sunday, this is where things start to get a little bit interesting here across the region. You see what I'm talking about, guys? This is what Futurecast is alluding to as we go throughout the day on Sunday. I do want to emphasize this point. Always say this until we're 3 days out. There's still a lot of uncertainty here, but the various ingredients, we talk about the jet stream, how the pattern is set up. It is conducive for winter weather here across the mid-Atlantic states. We've got the cold air in place, another reinforcing shot of cold air. It does not get much better across this part of the country if we were looking for a pattern that would deliver snow. Now, as for what we're going to see tonight and tomorrow, could see, a couple of inches of snow, some fresh, I won't do it, some fresh snow up across the mountains. I'm going to get banned from this show.
Yes,
I keep
you would.
saying it.
You would. I'm in charge of making that
and-
decision, so yes, you would.
And then after that, again, we have another front that's going to move through. That's what's bringing us the showers, maybe a couple of wet snowflakes, definitely some more snow up across the higher elevations Friday night and Saturday. So that second cold front, a reinforcing shot of cold air moves through. And then behind it, behind that front, a surface low is going to develop here. And with that front, that an area of low pressure, the stage could be set for snow here across the Carolinas. Got to watch it very closely. You want to check back in with Chief Meteorologist Tara Lane, but it is something we need to watch very closely over the next few days. Pinpoint 7-day forecast. Might see a couple of snowflakes tomorrow, but for me, as a snowbird all the way
18
through
Friday
here,
night.
it's all about
Or
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday. If you're looking to see snow, we're going to do our best to iron out that forecast.
So
over the
probably a
next few
good
days.
thing kids don't have school Monday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kids are going to be sad about that. But again, in the post-COVID era, they do all this virtual learning. It's like it's very sad. And like so many kids don't have a true snow day anymore.
Yeah.
That's true. MLK, though, on Monday for sure. Everyone's
Yes.
going to be off on that one, but we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah. So has the Tattoo song, All the Things She Said, kind of been ringing in your ear the past couple of weeks because of a certain show that's on HBO Max? Well, if it has, we've got some news related with that very series and the book series that's kind of associated with it. That is coming up next. This is Queen City News Plus Live. So the HBO series, HBO Max series, well, it's not necessarily HBO Max, but the series Heated Rivalry, which is on HBO Max. There we go. They have, it's become really popular. In the past month or two that it's been out, it's raked up 600 million minutes of views, and it's based off of a book series. And the 7th book in that series, which will undoubtedly be very popular, at least at this point, is actually due out in September. It's Unrivaled. It's part of this long-standing book series that's kind of been out, and I have read it all.
And
I've seen all the episodes.
Yeah, and you want to tell us a little bit more about what it is all about?
It's basically, long story short, it's gay hockey romance. And
from Heated Rivalry.
Yes,
yeah.
and yes, it is spicy. But
Yes.
also, on that same point, though, you stay there for the actual realistic portrayal of the relationships that go on there, and it is really good reading. But the shows are also really good too. It's
Really well done.
You will be attracted to the spice, but by the end of it, you will be crying. It's a great. Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.